telling every I ain't with my wife, but if she meet her, might be a go. Rick Flair flashy. Don't I look dashy? Don't I look classy? Don't act so sassy. I'm the man, boo. That's with or without you. With what your say. Show me what that.
I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say I'm lonely at the top, but this the best. Hey, don't you see me out here shining, barely flexing. I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say I'm lonely at the top, this the best. And even if we die today, gon' live forever. Live forever.
Daddy Patsy with 3 S's.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the New Orleans Saints. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The LSU man Leonard Fournette, born right here in New Orleans. Even with that broken tackle, can't go very far. Stop short of the 30. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. On 2nd down, here's Fournette. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down. I'm no offensive mastermind, but of all the guys on the field to block, you might want to stop him.
Look, I've got a very simple rule. An unblocked defender is usually your best defender, and he ended up making the play there.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean reins to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Second down following the run. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Calling a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on 2nd down.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19. Leopard.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. And that will hit and continue on out of bounds. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. A partner, just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season, the playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away, because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
How did he stay on his feet? And he'll go out of bounds across the 35-yard line. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
All right, here we go. Boom, Landy.
Slot man moves right.
Landy.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Looking to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth.
Now let's go. Green.
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he gets this one across midfield for the first down to the 46. Give him 14 on the play. And they're able to pick up the conversion here on fourth down. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And he rifles one incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep two hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish.
Watch it now, Detroit! Now let's go!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. Now big third down conversion with a gain of 28.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
Hey, big hit. Knocked down sideways, right at the line of scrimmage. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it first and goal.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
And the offense in a great spot. It's first and goal from the 3. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal.
I don't know about you, Brandon, but I often think to myself, in these situations, I want a back who can create his own space, who can break tackles, and in a sense, become his own blocker. We don't have that guy in the game right now.
Green 39, over. Set. Green 30. Watching that, Barney.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They're bringing a lot of pressure here already in the first quarter. Already sacked him once. Now they get in there and knock another one away. You think maybe that Tucker rule being gone makes defenses a lot bolder?
Yes, indeed. That time lucky that the... And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead.
But they decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times that's a passing play.
And the kicker just has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
So that drive, 12 plays in length. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And just 1 tick to go, so this will obviously be the final play of this first quarter. Prescott on first down, and that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. 10 yards still left on 2nd down. Prescott from the gun. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Cannon. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
That throw has to be a quarterback's dream, doesn't it? Big tight end, curling in the middle of the field, so it's great sight lines for him. And when they show their numbers back to the quarterback, when they sit down right there, that should be pitch and catch.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. A pickup of 5 that time and a 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Picked up a 1st down.
Now Leonard Fournette, and he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, it makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. So when you call a corner blitz, what a lot of teams call a cat blitz, you're expected to come after the quarterback, but in this case, he ran into the ball carrier. Really nice technique, because what you do is you come deep as the deepest offensive player, so he can't get outside of you.
And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there, 81 yards. And the Saints add on to their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
After the penalty, it's Fournette. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Call it a gain of a couple there, as it'll leave him with a second and just 3.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Again, it's Fournette. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Fournette, a first down carry, fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again, go play action, hit them over the top.
And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They go play action here on first down. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Prescott to throw it. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. A reminder coming up at halftime. Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before that. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And they'll at least get on the board here, still trailing, but 16-3 now. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Flushed out right. He's got a man. It's his fullback. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll bring up second down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at second down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Escaping the pressure right. His throw incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're like
the Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a time. Out instead as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. The Saints put up 29 points a game last year, second only to the Falcons, and they're in range to get some points on this drive as well. 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Wilson's got it complete. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. So they complete the pass, and now they face a 2nd down.
Here we go now.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Back to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he will have the 1st down before he's brought down at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And his kick is good. And that will do it. And actually, Larry, hold that thought. We're right back to the action. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the 3rd quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Detroit! Detroit!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. That one goes for 29 yards on 3rd down.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the ball is knocked out, and the Bengals grab it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy. I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Taken from just outside the 30. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here 1st and 10.
Let's go!
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Steps away. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. And a play like that, with how far he had to go to make that sack, shows how athletic defensive ends have become in the NFL.
And not just athletic, this is coached in a big way. Run to the football at all times. How about never giving up on it and pursuing?
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown of the game, number 19 on the year. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns has got him in the lead. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field.
These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Prescott off play action. And he's taken down here by the Saints.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
Now, they were good last time out with a touchdown drive. This go-around, it's not going to be very easy starting from inside their own 5.
But they shouldn't be daunted by it. You work on this the entire offseason. You work on it in practice. It's called coming out session. Start the ball inside the 5, start on the 5, on the 10. They should be ready to go. And that run there does nothing but juice up the guys who are moving the football. I mean, if you're an offensive lineman, people running it, actually the guy calling plays, you're almost jumping up and down in jubilation, aren't you?
Yeah, now you've got options on second down.
And big-time options. You might want to think about play action and try and get something cheap right here over the top.
They'll drop to throw. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. They'll give him a yard on the play, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot. Because we saw the catch there, right? He made it. He's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That's way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Second down now after the sack.
Here we go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
Let's go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And some space here. Space to maneuver at the 40. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a 1st down.
When you see a big-time run to the outside, it always comes back to setting the edge, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and they were perfect at setting the edge there.
And the funny part is, both sides of the ball talk about it. The offense has to set the edge so you can get outside. The defense wants to set the edge to control things so they can kick the run back inside.
Offense wins there.
Offense won big.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They're going to look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. Call it a pickup of 7, and that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4.
Back 99 Philly, here we go.
On third down, it's Hudson. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stop the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and minicamps. For these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
This throw caught right around the 6. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
They'll look to throw, eluding the pressure right. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there, couldn't hang on. 2nd down. Down this close to the goal line, first down. Surprised that wasn't a run?
I am, and you know I'm old school. I want to run the ball on first down in this situation because 2nd down, that gives me that option of running play action and maybe throwing it.
2nd and goal from the 5. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Saints just continue to roll. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bengal offense on their way out as we look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. A 2nd down throw for Prescott. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. He'll get a couple yards on that one. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. 3rd and short yardage, Prescott. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. His 21st touchdown of the season. And the Saints are pouring it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
He's got daylight. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it. And that touchdown, well, it barely puts a dent in this lead, and unfortunately, I'm having too many flashbacks right now. I remember getting beat down like this playing before.
Oh, yeah? College, high school?
College. Not a heck of a lot of fun. I still remember playing and trying to tackle an elusive tailback who ended up scoring 4 touchdowns, 226 yards. He scored so many times and had so many great runs, I knew every note to their school's fight song.
Bet that ice bath felt extra cold afterwards, too.
Oh, no, there was no ice bath. You're just trying to get out of there before the reporters got to you.
And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. Now they're down big here in the fourth. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, we gave up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure it out. And he's taken down here by the Saints.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
3rd and long for Prescott. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down. And now just 3 seconds before the 2-minute warning, they're going to call a timeout here defensively. Here's Brad Wing now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. .44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. This is taken at the 18. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Showed the nice footwork and then hit and drop shy of the 45. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, it's almost a tendency breaker.
A nice move he had, but can't break away. And he's brought down just inside the 30. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead, first down, fourth quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back, but 8 yards on first down puts them back on their heels. Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here, because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And he's going to go backward. They get him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. And they give this time to the tailback. And, boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires, and the Bengals will get the football back. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that, saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like when you realize the ball is loose?
It is a moment where all concentration goes right to the football. This is something you've talked about in all your preparation for the game. You probably talked about since training camp. Knock the ball free, take it away from the other team, and now you have that chance. There's a little bit of deflation when they end up recovering it.
They knocked it free, but couldn't take it away. And they're going to go soft on the corners. One last shot now for Prescott. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout